Isaiah 53 verse 4, surely he has borne our griefs and carried our sorrows. This is prophesying what Jesus was taking upon himself on the cross. Obviously, it had not happened yet in this present moment when this was written, because it's Isaiah, whatever. But it was prophesying what Jesus was going to take up on the cross for us. And two of the things he took up for us was sorrow and grief. And we have to acknowledge that, and we can't allow sorrow and grief to dictate our lives, because they are aspects that and emotions and things that slip into our life and sneak into our life at, the unexpected times usually, and things that we're just not prepared for. But how can we prepare for sorrow and grief when it wants to try to attack us? Operating in the perfect peace that Jesus left for you. Jesus walked in a peace where he did not operate in sorrow and grief. Why? Because he had the perfect peace, and he left that perfect peace with us. The Bible talks about peace I leave with you, not as the world gives, but I give. So we can operate when sorrow and grief come. We can operate in a certain level of peace that we will remain unbothered. And it's crazy to think that, but we can. We really can. But being honest, most people aren't operating in that. Most people don't live that type of lifestyle. But it's so important that we achieve and that we strive for that, and that we press in for that, because it's ours. The peace is ours, but we just really have to put it into perspective and play. But we can't allow sorrow and grief to dictate our lives, because that's exactly what it'll do. When we sit in it for so long, it will start to regulate our emotions, regulate what we do. It will base our beliefs, and it'll base our, faith, and it'll twist it all up on the wrong things because of what we're going through. So you have to be careful that you don't get into sorrow and grief, because Jesus took it on so you didn't have to deal with it. If Jesus took it on the cross, you don't need to deal with it. So when it arises up in you, because it'll try to, when it arises up in you, you don't have to accept it. You really don't, because Jesus has given you peace, and he took sorrow and grief at the cross.